Hari Om. Let's start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Naratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitatvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are looking at the obstacles for spiritual growth and talking about the first aspect is essentially lacking of proper jnanam, and the second one is not having the shraddha on the teaching itself. So here we are talking about the shraddha, and there's a story of 10th man story. Many of you are familiar with it, but says there are 10 people, or what called Paramananda Sishyas, and they cross the river and to do some work assigned by the teacher, and after crossing, the leader assembled everybody and make sure that nobody got drowned in the process of crossing the river, because the river was flowing very heavily, and therefore he wanted to count, make sure that all are creased. So he counted, everybody aligned, counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then after 9 there is no 10th person, and this 10th man is not there. So one person is missing, and the other fellow says, you are not counting properly, you go and join, I will count it. So again the leader joined, another fellow came and started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But there is no 10th man. 10th man is missing. So everybody took their turns on counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and one counted. That means he is not the 10th person. Second one is not the 10th person. Third one is not. So this is not it. It's not it. It's not it. It's not it. But you cannot find out what is the 10th person. So everyone is looking for the 10th person, and in the very looking for the 10th person, they can't find the 10th person. So therefore, the problem here is the 10th man. The one who is counting about it is the 10th man. And without knowing that I am the 10th person, but is counting everywhere, that means the looking for Brahman outside, I am searching for Brahman. So I go from here to Himalayas or somewhere else. Why? Because Brahman is not here and I am going there. So I am going for the temple. Where is I go to the temple? I want to see the Lord. So I go to the temple. Why should I go to the temple? Because Lord is everywhere. So if the Lord is everywhere, I am not able to see the Lord, so I go to the temple. So somebody asks, why do we need a temple if the Lord is everywhere? If we need a temple, because we have not understood the Lord is everywhere, at least go to the temple and pray the Lord, and Lord is there at least. So when you when you enter the temple, you leave your shoes outside. According to the Indian tradition, you leave the shoes outside. That means you have to leave all your sambandhas, that means relationships and everything, go nakedly without carrying all your burden, go there to the sanctum sanctorum. That's what essentially implication of leaving everything there. But we only leave the chapels and go there and worried about what's going to happen at the chapels, whether somebody is going to steal or not. So your mind is always, some part of the mind is worrying about the chapel, and some other part of the mind is you are going there and asking the Lord, saying the Lord, what do I ask? Oh Lord, please give me this, give me that, give me that, give me help to me, to my body, my daughter, my grand, all. You are asking and requesting something what you want and ignoring the Lord. Lord is only a giver of something. So Lord is viewed as his means God. Means he is a means to get something other than what it is. So the scripture is pointing out, try to find out what is the Lord and investigate that. That is called the inquiry into the nature of who are you and what is the God first. Before you ask something, first find out what God is. That is called Jignasu. So among all the bhaktas, Krishna says the four aspects of bhaktas are there. One is Artho, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnanincha Bharatarshava. So the Jignasu and Jnani compared to Artha and Artharthi. Artha means one who desperate in position, who asks, oh Lord, please help me. And the other one is the Artharthi, going to the temple and having a big list, I want this, I want this, I want this, and so on and so forth. So he is praying for longer time every day only because his list is bigger. So Lord will be wondering, I gave him already intelligence to think properly, and he's coming every time begging for me, give me some more, give me some more. So everybody is only becoming a beggar, and that's why Lord doesn't like also. So he says, I have given you what you need. I give you only what you deserve, not what you want. And therefore, you get whatever that is to be deserved. You don't have to come and ask for it, because I know what you need. And not that what you want. You know what you need. Therefore, it is given to you. Nastadharme namusiniche naiva kamapabhoge yajyat bhavyam bhagata bhagavan purva karmanurupam. Kulashekar Alvar says yajyat bhavyam bhavata bhagavan purva karmanur. According to purva karma, whatever the past is, you are going to give me. So you are going to give. There is no point for me to go and do all the pujas and all that to ask again, give me this, give me that, because you are not going to give me unless it is sanctioned by my karmas. So whatever I get is only by the karmas. That doesn't mean that you won't have to ask, because at least you go and ask him rather than depend on asking the world. It is better to ask the Lord, and by asking you are crystallizing your thought and at least recognizing there is something higher. But when you ask the Lord to make sure you follow the rules also, that's what essentially in the Karma Kanda, you are asking something and you have to follow exactly the dots and dashes properly in terms of that. So when you ask him something, you have to ritual is also there. So you have to ask properly. Essentially, implication is that you have to follow the rules. That means it has to be dharmic way. You do not ask adharmic desires, and therefore by following dharma, your mind gets purified in the process. And with that way, at least the mind says, by asking more and more and more still coming in, ultimately you have to realize that these are not giving me happiness. I want something more than that. At least that's what Lord is hoping you will come, and that's where the Tad Vijnanartam the Gurum Eva Abhigachet, because I cannot get the happiness by any finite things. Say that's how the Parikshalokan, after examining only, the one realizes that this is not the way to get what I want. What I really want? I want infinite absolute happiness. But anyway, here the 10th man story that we are referring to, everyone is looking for the 10th man. So 10th man, everybody looking, because 10th man, they have decided that 10th man is out there and they cannot see him. So they are looking for somebody out there, and even when the teacher says you are that, there is not faith in the teacher or listening to the teacher sufficient with the knowledge, and they are still longing for the 10th man, looking all over the world. They will never find the 10th man, because the one who is the seeker himself is the sought. So some other guide says, don't look for the 10th man outside. So then where should I look within? Go into your mind and look for. The 10th man is neither within nor outside. Where is he? You are the very inquirer himself is the 10th man. And because of the lack of faith and looking for, very longing for the 10th man, obstructs the finding of the 10th man. You are that Tattvamasi, when the teacher says it is the 10th, the one who is the seeker himself is the sought, and therefore it has to be recognition is required, realization that I am the 10th man, what I am looking for. There is nothing inside or outside. I am the total also. That is what the problem is here. Ashraddha is lack of faith in the teacher's word that you are the 10th man, because there is a tendency of looking outside for the 10th man. Same way, this is what the people have problem in terms of Brahman. objectification. This is what is essentially called objectification of Brahman. Because I am looking for something. When I am looking for something, I am objectifying Brahman as though something to be gained or something to be achieved. So some object to be gained. Because some scriptures and Acharya says you have to go there. So I had to gain something, or I had to gain I had to surrender. And who is surrender? I am. So that surrendering ego is still there to surrender. So I put a different header. Now I am a bhakta. I am right now an egocentric individual who is trying out, going all over. Now I have surrendered to the Lord. So put another hat also. So there also now I am a bhakta also is another hat. Even I am a bhakta has to be surrendered. How do I surrender that I am a bhakta? That means there is no more bhakti or no more duality between the devotee and deity. As long as there is a duality, I have not surrendered yet. That means there is a sadrusyam, samipyam and sayujyam, where I completely merge into that. Merging means understanding that there is no difference at all between me and the Lord, and that becomes Advaita. Therefore, objectification of Brahman is the essential problem for many people. So therefore, everybody understands the Vedanta and goes through many years of study of Vedanta, but still they are not able to say or claim themselves they are Brahman, only because they are still looking for Brahman. Or they have to see in the meditation, they have to see. If Brahman is only in the meditation, and once you come out of the meditation there is no Brahman, then you still have a problem of understanding what is Brahman is. You are there in the meditation, you are there outside the meditation also. You are there all the time. There is never a moment you are not there, and you are that Brahman. So there is never a moment you are not the Brahman also. But that recognition or realization or clear understanding that Aham Brahmasmi has to be synced in. And that obstruction is only because of objectification of Brahman, because of lack of correct understanding of Brahman. That's also ajnana, and that's all related to the ashraddha, and that's due to the samsayam also. And therefore it's essentially the one who has samsayam, we cannot be able to recognize. It says in the Gita, Krishna says in the 6th chapter, 36th sloka, he says asamsayatmana yogaha dushprapa iti me mataha. So one who has asamsayam, so one who has asamsayatmana, who has essentially having the not able to reject all other things and not able to the dependence on the things of indriya, the vishayas, and he cannot be able to realize. And that is essentially what this is. Me mataha, in my opinion, Krishna says, in my opinion, the one who is going for the one who for object oriented, the happiness or the likes and dislikes or ragadveshas, he will never be able to gain the knowledge. Whereas vasyatmanatuhu yatata sekto vaptum upayataha. So one who has controlled everything under his control, the one who has controlled his indriyas, the sense organs, they are not going out to enjoy, they are now withdrawn, and that's called his vairagyam. And this nididhyasana has to be continuously done until I abide in this knowledge, and that's what has been discussed. Now we'll take up the Gaudapada discusses the obstacles. He refers to, there are 4 obstacles according to Gaudapada, and one is laya, another is vikshepa, third one is kashaya, and fourth one is rasa aswadanam. This is in the Mandukya Karika. He lists, these are the obstacles for spiritual growth. Laya is the sleep. So when I am contemplating on that, the sleep comes into picture, because the mind is now trying to see something which is not an object, because mind is only going after or habituated to conceptualize everything. Now it is beyond the concept. We are analyzing the analyst, as Ramana Maharshi puts it, analyze the analyst. How do I analyze the analyst? If again I have analysis, they again analyze that analyst. So essentially the mind has to stop analysis. It's not a stopping of that, it is recognition that the very analyzer is the analyst, and in that recognition there is no analysis but only the revelation that I am that. So this is ahamina shabad jahamaham taya spurati hrut swayam paramapurna sat. So so I am an inquirer, I am a seeker, I am an analyst. That I am is still localized because I am still identifying myself I am and then looking for something other than I am as the Brahman. And therefore that has to, the very inquirer has to dissolve in the inquiry process, and in the process the true nature of that one will come up because it is there all the time. And this is what essentially is the realization, because true realization is ahami nashaba, this so-called aham, the local ego, that's aham is nothing but ego, is called ahamrutti. That I notion has to be dissolved. That I notion is where I take myself only as ahankara, that is I notion is ahankara here. Says ahamrutti, when idamrutti rises, when this thought rises, then I know this thought, and I know this thought is essentially I am the ahankara, a knower, and this is known, and the division comes because I am a knower, identifying with the knowing principle as I am, and that is again a ahankara only, ego only, and that has to be dissolved, where the knowledge has to be where I am not even this, but I am that. This ahankara, this ego cannot go easily, and in fact I had to use the ego only to reject the ego. That's why it is a very strange process and a very subtle process. And this laya comes because when the mind withdraws from any objectification, and that automatically goes into sleep, because that's how the mind has been trained. When I go to deep sleep state, all the objective world of the waking is gone, objective world of the dream is gone, there is no more objectification, and therefore everything is folded, because the mind arises with the subject-object duality only. Therefore, how do I? So for layam is sleep comes automatically, and yawning and sleep becomes a part of the problem. So what should I do to get out of this problem? So the only way is to make sure the mind is fresh, and the mind is very tired. You cannot do meditation, or you cannot do contemplation, because it easily goes to sleep. You can go to sleep with thinking of this, that's a separate issue. But when you want to think about it and want to contemplate, you don't want to sleep to come at that time, and therefore at that time, or when your mind has to be fresh enough, and that's when you should, that's why the advice is the first thing in the morning after taking bath, when the mind is fresh, you sit down and contemplate on the nature of the reality. Recognize that is pratasvarami hrudisam swarat atmatattvam. So atmatattvam have to recognize that in the first pratasvarami thing in the morning itself, the first thing in the morning, before mind get entangled in the transactional realities. Therefore laya is sleep comes, and to avoid that, try to develop or meditate at the time when the mind is fresh. The second aspect of the obstacle, according to Gaudapada, is vikshepa. Vikshepa is due to restlessness of the mind. Restlessness of the mind is due to the rajasic nature. Still, because of the habitual rajasic nature, where mind always agitated and wants to go out, activity is there, and now you want to go to a calm, quiet state of the mind. So rajasic nature can only go by sattvic nature. Rajas can only be removed by sattva. Sattva comes by contemplation, meditation, and so on. So one has to slowly satsangatve nissangatvam. So detachment from that. So mind has to be purified by contemplating something higher. Yato yato nischarati manas chanchalamas tatastato niyam yaitatu atmanyeva vasannayet. So Krishna gives, because it's recognizing the mind is running away, and that is essentially vikshepa. So whenever one has recognized that the mind has, bring it back again. So this constant struggle goes on until mind abides itself in the truth. So this is a vikshepa. And we'll take up the other, it's called Kashaya and Rasaswadanam in the next talk. We'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.